Scotland has replaced London as the fastest place for a seller to find a buyer for their home, figures suggest. News that has been met with enthusiasm from sellers north of the border. The average time to secure a buyer fell from 66 days to 41 days.
It's fantastic news. It shows that there is a wider confidence in our market generally, which is also reflected if you look at buyer origin, where our buyers are coming from. We're seeing an awful lot of people coming up from down south, as we are very, very good value for money.
Local industry experts' data supports the notion that the market in Scotland is strong, but perhaps surprisingly has slowed compared to 12 months ago.
In terms of what we can see, the data that we monitor, we've seen in the last 3 months the median selling time in Edinburgh, Lothians, Fife and the Borders is 21 days. That's actually 3 days slower than last year, but it's still very short selling times for people who are selling their properties in those areas. I mean, for us, it just generally highlights the strong demand for property in these areas, and that's the reason for short selling times up here, is that there's a lot of demand for property. I think what we would say with that is more that it encourages a certain certainty in the sales a little bit earlier in the process, purely just because the kind of second main stage of the process comes a little bit earlier in the Scottish system. So that's concluding the missives up here, or known as exchange of contracts down in England. It tends to happen a little bit faster up here, so you can be a bit more sure of your sale going through. That's to do with some different reasons. There's a few more chains normally going on in property transactions down south. Tends to be more than up here.
So the conveyance format itself is a quickening factor, and another aspect accelerating towards buyers and sellers is, of course, the dreaded and perhaps even cliched B word.
So far we haven't seen a particularly significant impact as a result of the ongoing Brexit discussions. However, in the last 3 months we have noticed a fall year on year in the number of properties coming to market in Edinburgh, Lothians, Fife and the Borders. That could be a sign of sellers becoming a little bit more cautious as we approach the Brexit date. However, with such strong demand for property, as evidenced by selling times and rising selling prices, we would expect that impact to be relatively short term.
So an encouraging forecast, but perhaps signs that homeowners in times of uncertainty are ever eager to cling to the concrete comfort of bricks and mortar. Ian McNally, That's TV.